What's up, everybody? It's Dave Martinez. You can call me D2, and I'm your coach for this virtual training program. And whether you are participating in this training program or just happen to stumble onto this video through YouTube because you're looking at ways to improve your running, glad you stopped by and check this out. So what we're going to do is, this is video one of 3 parts, where we're going to go through and build each and every single video on top of this first video, which will be our base for strengthening and conditioning. And this is not a weight loss workout. This is not a high intensity training program. This is all about preventing injuries for running, strengthening to become a stronger runner, and improving your overall performance, and most of all, your enjoyment of running. Because if you're in pain, if it hurts, if it feels uncomfortable, you're not going to have a good time. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start off with core workout. We're going to go to legs, and then we're going to go to upper body. Why all those 3? Because they're all important for an overall, what we call holistic 360 approach to running and staying healthy and just getting that best enjoyment. We'll also do several videos on transform running, which talks about proper form and technique for running. And these exercises, these workouts are going to help and build onto that as well. So first thing we're going to do is going to start on some core, and it's each and every video it's going to get a little bit more difficult. And what you want to do is, and what we encourage you to do, is to do these movements slow and control. Quality over quantity. We do not want fast repetitions. We'd rather you do slow and correct form to get the most maximum benefits from this program. So let's get started and let's work on our core first. All right, first we're going to start off with the core, and we're going to do something really simple called planks. And most of you are familiar with them. So grab yourself a mat, something that it'll be comfortable on our carpeting. And what we want to do is try to hold these for 1 minute. You don't want to go more than that. So we'll do a modified version and a version that's just going to be a little bit more difficult depending on how comfortable you are. All right? 2. All right, so you're going to start off with your arms shoulder width apart. You do not want your butt up in the air, and you do not want it kind of angle like this, because that's going to end up putting a lot of strain on your lower back. You want to keep your back as straight as possible, and you want to hold this for 1 minute. This is kind of the easier version. If it becomes a little bit too easy and you feel like you're not really working your core after 1 minute, you're going to drop down, and this is going to end up being just a slightly more difficult. And like I said, you're going to hold this for 1 minute. And you don't really want to go over a minute. I mean, you can, but if you can hold it for a minute, you can move on to something more advanced, and we can work on different parts of your core that are going to strengthen the entire area around your core, not just your abs. We'll make sure we work your obliques and your lower back as well. All right, moving on to the next one. All right, so exercise number 2 for your planks is called dead bugs. And basically, that's kind of what you want to do, and it look like you're a bug kind of on your back. So what we're going to do is lay flat, and you want your hips to bend at a 90-degree angle, and then your knees to be bent at a 90-degree angle. So it'll look like this. So hips bent at 90 degrees, knees bent at 90 degrees. You're going to keep your arms up like this, and you're going to alternate each leg. So you're going to drop and extend one leg at a time while moving your arms back. This is going to activate your hip flexors and your lower core, so it should look like this, where you drop one and you extend it, and you bring it up, and alternate to the next leg, bring it up, and you're going to do this at minimum 10 per leg. If you can do more, then do more. And you should feel that in your hips, lower abs. And what you want to try to do as well is try to keep the back pressed down. Don't arch your back. Keep it pressed down. That's going to activate your core a little bit more. So alternate. And you should feel that kind of burn and that shaking of the body as you kind of work your core. And you can increase these as it gets easier and do multiple reps. Like I said, slow and controlled is better than fast and in proper form. So good form, slow and control each and every time. All right, exercise number 3 for your core is we're gonna do leg raises, okay? So we're gonna pick up both legs and raise them up off the ground and up. You're gonna hold it there for a beat and then you're gonna bring them down again. Don't let them drop all the way down. You can tap, but then bring them back up. It's gonna be a slow and controlled movement. You do not want your legs going up and down and using the momentum to help you out, okay? So your arms can be positioned off and underneath your butt. You'll extend your legs out and then you'll bring them up. And then slowly, control, bring them down. Controlled up, control down, nice and slow, and you can feel that core working. All right? Now, if you want to do a little bit more difficult, because that's working your lower core and you want to add the upper abs to it and the upper core, what you'll do is you can spread your arms out just a little bit to give you a little bit of a more solid, stable base. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna raise your legs up and then pick your butt off the ground so you can activate your core, your upper core as well as your lower core. Once again, keeping a slow and controlled motion throughout. So it'll look like this. Bring it up and then up. Slow and control and then up. Basically, you're flexing that upper core up and control. Arms used here as a way to kind of keep a solid base. Up and control and down. So do about 10 of those minimum until you can do them properly. If you need to do less, that's fine. But in all these motions, you want to do them properly, slow and controlled. When you can add more, then do so, as long as it's slow and controlled. All right? All right, now we're moving to legs. All right, now we're moving on to your lower body, so we're working out the legs. So the first thing we're going to do is work out your quads and your hamstrings and your glutes. We're going to do squats. So you're going to start out with your feet about shoulder width apart. You can put your arms out for balance if you need to. And then you're just going to hinge at your hips and then at your knees and your ankles. You're going to try to keep your back upright as much as possible just to maintain good posture. So you're just going to drop down like this and try to go as low as you can. Some of it's going to depend on flexibility, but you're going to try to keep your posture up and drop down. You may go on your toes if you go a little bit too far, but you're going to try to keep your heels planted to the ground and kind of push off with your heels. So hinge at the hips, at the knees, and at the ankles. So from the side, it should look like this. So arms out for balance. Hinge at the hips, drop down, and then up. Slow and control. You do not want to stop at the bottom. You want to keep the muscles activated. And at the same time, you don't want to wait too long up at the top. You want to keep it slow and control and constant motion. So drop down and then up. Slow and control. This is going to work your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, and your adductors as well. So all those are going to potentially be sore in the next couple of days. But it's going to make you a stronger runner. It's going to help you on those uphills. And it's just going to give you power as well, whether you're running on flat surfaces or up, as the grade changes and gets steeper. Okay, next we've got lunges. Same thing. You're going to try to maintain good posture, upright. If you want, you can put your hands on your hips, arms about shoulder width apart, and you're going to step forward and drop down and try to bend that both knees at a 90-degree angle. So your front knee is going to bend at about a 90-degree angle from the hip. You're going to, once again, hinge from the hip and the knees. And the back leg is going to do the same, slow and controlled. So from the side, it should look like this. So once again, you're going to hinge right here, 90 degrees at the hip, and then 90 degrees on the opposite leg as well. So continue to do these, alternate each leg. So you can do like 10 on one leg, 10 on the other, and then continue to do this. Once again, it's going to work your quads, your hamstrings, and once again, like I said, this is all going to help build and strengthen those muscles that kind of support the knees. If you're having, sharp pain as you do these, then stop. Do them for just a little bit, or stop altogether. We don't want any sharp pain. We want to do them controlled. Try to also make sure that the knee does not dive in as you're kind of doing these. So if your knee kind of does this, try to keep the knee aligned as straight as possible as you go down. So once again, keeping this in a straight line, forward. This is going to help as you're running, especially on those later miles when your knees and legs start getting kind of tired, and going to prevent those injuries and from that pain occurring. It's also going to prevent things like IT band pain as well from muscle imbalances. That's why we want to make sure that we work out both legs. Once again, slow and controlled all the time. All right, next up, we're going to do step-ups. All right, so next we've got step-ups. So once again, we're working out the lower legs. And once again, slow and control. So what we're going to do, you can use a bench like I'm using. You're going to use a chair. You want to use something that's sturdy. You don't want to use anything that's flimsy. You want to make sure that something's got a solid base. Don't use a flimsy folding chair. These are all items that you can use, you find in your home. Like I said, a dining room chair, something that is not too high, that you can step up fairly easily and do several reps. So you're going to stand a few feet away from it. Then you're going to do like one leg and then alternate. So we'll do like a series of maybe 5 or 10 per leg, and then switch to the other leg. That way we're making sure that we're working out and maxing out one leg before switching to the other. So you're going to grab and step up, and then you're going to push off and raise the other leg, down, and then step down, and then up, down, up. And then the alternate leg, I'm picking up and activating the hip flexor and raising it up as well for that additional movement. And once again, you're going to try to keep yourself balanced so that you're not off. So slow and controlled, up and down, up and down. Slow and controlled, up and down. We can swap legs here, up and down, up, down. Slow and control. And I guarantee you, you will break a sweat. You will be sore the next day. So for comparison, you can see it from the side. Once again, you want to keep your posture straight as possible, and you're going to step up and then down. Try not to lean into it. Even when you go up, make sure that you're not leaning forward. As you bring that leg up, you're keeping a straight posture. So here we go, up. And then I like using my hands like it's a running motion because it helps push off. And then swap legs, up and down. Some of it is going to be flexibility to get that hip activated as you bring that knee up. All right, so there you have it. Those are your leg exercises. Squats, lunges, and step-ups. Okay, now we're going to work on upper body, and the best exercise, one of the best exercises is push-ups, but not everyone does it correctly, and I have to admit, even I didn't know how to do it correctly for a long time, and that prevented me from really getting any true benefit out of it. So you want to start out with your arms about shoulder width apart. You don't want to go too wide. Also, when you're going down, you want to make sure that you're going all the way down to where your chest is almost inches, maybe about an inch, almost to where it taps the ground, or your chin almost hits the ground. And then when you go up, you don't want to go down and then just go part way up to where your elbows are only partially bent. You want to go up to where it's almost a full extension from it and then back down. That's going to give you the maximum benefits. So it'll make sure that it works your biceps, your triceps, your upper back, shoulders, and of course your chest. So let's take a look at that here. So once again, you're going to try to maintain a straight line just like you would a plank. Same plank type position. You want to kind of bring your arms slightly underneath your shoulders. So you don't want them too far forward or too far back. And then you're just going to lower it down and then up. Slow and control and then back up. You almost want to go and move your body forward slightly and then back up. Nice and control and then up. So do these for about 10 reps. For those of you that find this a little bit difficult, and even I'll admit I've done these in order to get the proper form, you want to go on your knees and then do the same thing, is down and then up. Slow and control and up. So you want to kind of move forward a little bit and then push up to where your arms are almost fully extended but not necessarily locked out. Same thing for this full position. Arms almost locked out, slight bend in the arms, and then down, and then up. So my chin is just barely, almost touching the ground. So you want to do about 10 of these, and then work your way up, maybe 15, maybe 20, 25, and then do multiple sets of these as part of your workout. All right? We're going to work biceps next. All right, so now we're going to move up to biceps. And because we don't want you to spend a whole lot of money, and you don't need to spend money to buy dumbbells. If you have them, great. If you don't, that's fine. I know that right now, because of the pandemic, it's hard to find workout equipment. So we got to improvise a little bit. So everyone should have, maybe it's, a backpack, a briefcase, a duffel bag, something that you can put your laptop in, put a couple bottles of wine, a couple bottles of beer, books or whatever to kind of give yourself some weight. This could potentially be anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds depending on what you put into it. So you can use this to work out and without needing truly any exercise equipment. So if it's got a handle like this, then you can easily just do bicep curls. So once again, just going to curl up and then down. Try to get that full range of motion. If it's too heavy, then what you can do is do a 2-arm bicep curl where now you're using the straps and you're just going to start down low and then bring them up, down low, and once again, slow and control this whole time. You want to keep your posture straight and you want to bend at the elbows. So from the side view, what you don't want to do, and I see a lot of people do this, is they tend to bring their weight forward and then arch your back to bring the weight up. What you want to do is try to keep your posture straight, bend at the elbows, and bring it up. So everything is done with the biceps. There's no help from the back. There's no arching of the back. So if you want to do it with one arm, same thing, put the bag to your side and then slowly bring it up and then down. Slow and control. So you're getting as much workout and you're getting an isometric workout from just releasing it slowly and then bringing it back up. You don't want to rest at the bottom. You just want enough of a little kind of pause and then bring it back up. And then, like I said, you can switch arms and do about 10 per arm to get started. If you can do 10, if you can only do 5, do 5. But once again, proper form is what is important. You don't want to rush through this. You will get a good workout. This is not to build bulk. This is to build just strength, especially if you start going longer distances. Your arms are going to be pumping, and this will help you up those hills if you can pump those arms. And it'll help build that posture so that you don't fatigue and you don't get injured. All right, so what we want to also do is work out your triceps. And you can do something very similar to this, where you want to kind of put it and sling it to your back and work out your triceps. But I find that with this backpack, it sort of hits my shoulders a little bit, and it's kind of hard to do properly. So you don't want to hit the back of your head or the back of your shoulders, but it's one way of doing it. If this does not work, a good way of doing it is then using a bench. You can use a bench or a chair, and you're going to put your arms on the bench, extend your legs out, and then drop and hinge at the elbows and up. You want to try to keep, like I said, a straight posture. And then up, slow and control. All right, there you go. So that is your complete workout. So we've done core, we've done 3 exercises for your core. We've done planks, dead bugs, leg raises. For lower legs, we've done squats, lunges, step ups. For upper body, we've done push-ups, biceps, and tricep curls. So that's the base for this first video, and for your base that you're going to now build up each and every single time over the next couple weeks. So increase your repetitions as you can. So if you can only do 5, try to jump up to 10. You want to try to do these at least 2 sets minimum, and then try to get to 3 sets. In other words, you want to do a round of each of these and then do them again a second time. If you can, then do a third one, but eventually we want to get to do a third. And then in 2 weeks when the next video releases, we're going to vary some of these exercises to make it a little bit more difficult, so that you start getting stronger and you start working on those imbalances. So there you have it. This is going to be an exciting and fun routine for us to get into. I would recommend that you do this minimum 1 time a week. If you can squeeze 2 or even 3, that would be better. And I guarantee you that when you run after one of these workouts, and by afterwards I mean like a day later, after you don't want to do one of these workouts and then run, you're going to feel tired, and that's okay. But try to split them up if you can, to where you're doing these workouts on one day and then running on the next day. You're going to be sore for sure, and week 1 you're going to be sore anyway just from running. So maybe do one of these workouts 1 a week, then start doing 2 a week. But you're going to start feeling stronger as you start running after one of these workouts, because now you're working out muscles and activating certain muscles that you never have done before, that are going to play into your running now. It's specifically when it talks about your hips and your legs, because now you're going to start activating these legs and you're going to power through them instead of just kind of swinging that leg forward kind of in a very lazy manner. And our body will find that the path of least resistance, and running and typically swinging the leg forward like this is a lot easier than picking the leg up and then bringing it down. We'll talk all about that through Transform Running, and how all this kind of meshes together to get you to be a stronger runner. So keep at it, keep working. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll keep working together to get stronger and make running fun. See you next time.